Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. And the question that came today was actually a question I got through my YouTube channel. And it was, should you remove Invisalign attachments before Vivara scan? And the answer is yes, definitely. Of course, it really depends on, well, maybe. It depends on what type of retention you are offering this patient. And if you do follow my channel and you've gone through the whole retainer or retention playlist, you know that this is a customized thing. It's not a one size fits all approach. How long they wear it, what type they get. There's a lot of things that need to be taken into account. It also depends on what your personal philosophy is for your office. What is the value proposition? What did you tell your patients they're getting? Are they getting one retainer? What type of retainer? Do they get to choose? What if they need more than one retainer? They're going to need more than one if it's a clear, for sure. They're going to need at least 4 uppers and 4 lowers. That's why Vivaras are only sold in packs of 4. Invisalign Align technology knows you can't just have one. There's nothing that's going to make a complaint worse than if you assess additional fees at the end of treatment. You have to address all this at the beginning of treatment. So that's why I really recommend getting a copy of my retainer playlist. Again, sometimes I do give freebies. I give freebies to my paid clients, to anyone that's taken a class of mine. Sometimes in my webinars, I give freebies. The retainer playlist is something that I often do give out. So listen for when I give a shout out that I'm going to give a freebie. Otherwise, they are $20. But if you even take any of my courses, as long as you send me, or attend any of my live events, any of my webinars, as long as you show me documentation, I will give you a free copy. No problem. Just send me an email. Contact me, Straightsmile Solutions, info@straightsmilesolutions.com. Remember, again, retainers are customized, not only by design, but also by wear. So what are you including? Obviously, if this is the final retainer and you're only giving them one, which makes me super squirm, I hope you're not doing that. I really hope, and I hope you're not charging for it. There's nothing wrong with giving them one as long as you let them know that they could, if they wanted to, get a Holly. Totally cool. We include one. You get to choose. It's going to be a Holly or it's going to be a clear, To Holly, it's going to last probably 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah, it's going to look kind of ugly. Sorry. Yeah, you're probably going to have to wear it full time initially. A lot of people would rather have the more durable, longer lasting one. At least they're given a choice. And a lot of people are going to say, nah, I want the clear one. Okay, that's fine. You can have a clear one. But you're going to need to get at least a couple more, very soon. So we strongly recommend that you upgrade to an additional pack, or many orthodontists do give the Vivara, this whole set of 4 with treatment, just because it's less headaches for them, Sometimes what they'll do is they'll actually keep the Vivaras in the office, and when they come back for retainer checks, they'll give them a next one, almost like an incentive for showing up for the retainer checks. You can also do this in a GP office. You can keep the Vivaras, and every time they come, they don't have to know it's in a set of 4. Everything that they come in for a cleaning for the first 2 years, again, it incentivizes them coming for the cleaning. You have another set waiting for them. And if they want more after those 2 years, well, then they can purchase it. By then they should be barely wearing it, so it shouldn't really be an issue. It's always a great idea to have a backup set stored somewhere. I would put it in your safety deposit box at the bank, to be really honest. Because in your house, you could have a fire, you could lose it, a dog can eat it. Unless you have like some sock drawer where you're storing it where it's nice and cool, where you don't get humidity and stuff like that. It can't warp. Definitely don't keep it in the car. That's the dumbest thing. No heat, no humidity. Someplace dry and cool in a cellar. I strongly recommend storing a pair someplace else. Would I want to store extra pairs for a patient? No, but if I was a GP, that's pretty brilliant. I know a lot of GPs that do that. You get one at delivery. We're going to give you the first 2 years. Every time you as an incentive to come in for your cleaning, to incentivize you, you will get another set when you come in for your cleaning. Otherwise, if you want to purchase them all up front, there's an additional fee. You knew that. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, I didn't really answer the question. Should you remove attachments? I guess it depends on if this is the final set or not. Obviously, if you're ordering Vivara and you're just virtually removing them for the Vivara production, oh heck no, that's dumb. That's not going to be a good fit. It's not going to be perfect. It might be 80%, it might be 90%, it might be 70%. In my gut, I would feel wrong doing this. Definitely not. What I would do is you either take off the attachments and have them wear their last. Great idea to bake some passive aligners onto the end of treatment with attachments virtually removed. Nothing wrong with that. That's a smart idea. Or you can take them off and and have them virtually removed for an interim retainer. So Invisalign sells interim retainers and sets of 4 Vivara. The interim retainers can be purchased as one. They're not in the Vivara material, so they're not meant to be long term, but they're fine for a few weeks. Also cheaper. So you could have them virtually removed for the interim, then send them to get their cleaning. And then after they've had their cleaning, you will make them a long-term set. But remember, Vivaras only come in sets of 4. They don't come in sets of 1. Do not give them Invisalign interim retainer for a long-term retainer. That is not what it's meant for. Or there's lots of other labs out there. Almost every ortho lab that I know, and if you don't know some, I know plenty that I can refer you to, that sell packs of 4 or even packs of 2, packs of 3, whatever you want, of their brand of retainers, which are just as good as the Vivaras. I mean, it's not Vivara material, but there's nothing that special about Vivara material. It's just the quality control is pretty good on it. Although some of you are telling me it's been bad lately. I have not seen that. It's not been my experience. So if you're having quality control issues, maybe you're virtually removing the attachments is what I'm thinking, or your patient might not have healthy gums, or your patient might have calculus. So obviously you got to make sure all the calculus is off before you do that final scan, as well as the attachments should be off before you do the final scan. If there's any bleeding, calculus, anything, let them bake, either a passive aligner or an interim retainer or something until you get them all nice and healthy. And then give them an opportunity to finish any other dental work. That's the other benefit of giving them a temporary or interim retainer or passive aligners, and having them bake in that and say, hey, look, I'm going to give you 1 set or 4 sets or whatever you do of a retainer. You're going to need more in a lifetime. But this is your time, because anytime you get a filling or get crown redone or get a filling switched out, or, you're going to have to get a new retainer. You have to make sure they know that. And that's not at your cost, it's at their cost. So give them an opportunity, to do whatever they want, cosmetic they want to do. This is the time. If any cosmetic work you do, within the first few weeks, then I'll give you, as long as that's done with me, I'll give you another retainer. Of course, as an orthodontist, I used to say, hey, look, we're going to have you in your interim for a few weeks. This is the time to go get your work done. You got to let me know when you're going to get it done, because I have to have you come in that day to get scanned. That day, not the next day, that day, because whatever you do won't fit anymore. So we have to be like fast, making sure we get something in your mouth. Don't come in like a week later, because things will have shifted, because your retainer is not going to fit, right? Or sometimes they'll chop the backs off of it, but then you're going to start to get some weird bite issues coming after even just a few days. So all this has to be strategized. So that's why you need to have that conversation with the patient. Now, if you're a general or pediatric dentist, fantastic. You know what? You're already offering the primary care work anyway. So great revenue for you, convenience for the patient. It's a win-win, right? Don't cheap out. Just give them the interim retainer. It's only probably 10, 20, 30 bucks. No, 20, 30. Upper and lower, it's not that much. And then you can give them the long-term retainer with the attachments off before the scan, hygiene done, calculus removed, fillings replaced, whatever they need to do. And then anything else they need is on them. Of course, I always recommend at delivery giving the opportunity to purchase the 4 up front, whether you're doing it through Align Technology or you're doing it through a third-party company. Don't upgrade. Don't assess additional fees. Like, just do it at your cost. Obviously you can factor in a little bit your time and stuff, but it shouldn't be like $800. I mean, you guys are charging ridiculous costs for a Vivara. I would never do that. That's rude. You know what? At delivery, within a month of debond, give them the opportunity to do it at your cost. After that, sure, you can mark it up, because you're going to need another appointment for scan, time on the computer, and appointment for delivery. I get that. If you gave them the opportunity and then, 2 years later, they're asking for a Vivara, all right, you don't have to mark it up big time, but it should be marked up a little bit. And also don't write the retainer price indefinitely at a certain price. That is a huge mistake, because they will show up 10 years later and they'll expect that price, and the lab fee might be significantly higher. Unless you've had some type of aftercare warranty program or something that is billed annually, but that's a whole nother ball of string, can of worms. So again, watch my whole YouTube channel on retention if you want to learn more about that. Retainers can be a huge profit puppy. Like, they gonna need them more for life, so you might as well come up with a plan that way they feel secure. Like I've told you guys, I mean, I think all my siblings and even me had a problem at one point where we lost our retainers in college, or they broke, or something happened to them, stopped fitting. We're halfway across the country, or all the way across the country, and it was like ridiculous prices to get them remade. My parents had to fly us home. We had to go to another orthodontist in the city we're in. It happened to all my siblings at some point. And I remember the stress in my mom's face. That was like literally the worst part of ortho, was the retainer unknown. So nowadays with cloud storage and STLs, this should 100% not be necessary. You should be banking, or offer it as part of the retainer aftercare plan. Hey, we have a warranty plan, $49 per year, put on auto bill. Anytime you need a new retainer, you give us a call. We're going to cloud storage your thing. You don't have to cloud storage people indefinitely if they're not doing this, but you should at least give them an opportunity to do that. And that is one of the benefits, at least, of Align Technology, is that they're going to cloud storage that STL for that Vivara for, I don't know if it's 5 years or 7 years. It's something. You can ask them. It's definitely not forever, because I did have a sibling that made Vivaras with us, and then he wanted more, and it had already been over the 7 years, and we couldn't. Invisalign said no, and then we had to get him in, so it was a hassle. So I mean, I think it would be great, honestly, if I'm getting into a whole tangent here, if Align Technology like built that out more. And that's what some of these third-party companies like Retainer Direct Club and, I don't know, Forever Align Club and stuff are out there, where you can just turn your patient over to them. But for me, I'm like, why are you losing out on the revenue? You know, if you don't want to deal with it, I get it. But I mean, come on, you guys, you're losing out on revenue. It's not that hard. You can easily build your own program. And just remind the patient, hey, your cloud storage of your STLs, of your final teeth, you know, for retainers is going to expire on this date. You know, you can reach out to them, you know, before the expiration date. Hey, do you want any more Vivaras? This is the last chance you're going to have to order more. You know, bank them up, put them in the safety deposit box, put them in a storage for the rest of your life. There's a lot of people who will jump on that. So, all right. Hopefully you get the idea. Thanks.